Hi, everybody, and welcome back. High school football practice is in full swing as teams are gearing up for the upcoming 2025 season. We just heard a little bit earlier from Sportscaster contributor Ryder Sloan on his top 5 high school quarterbacks to watch for heading into the year. And I remember last fall, it was late last year, the MHSAA, the Michigan High School Athletic Association, announced that it would once again be reclassifying schools beginning this August. And since it is August of this year, we want to get the latest on what this reclassification means. So this isn't uncommon for the MHSAA to reclassify schools, and mostly it impacts, the high school football season. So the reclassification essentially would be for the next 3 years, so 2025, 26, and 27. And then that goes into effect now. And then the regions and classifications would be integrated into all sports, not just high school football, but that would be basketball, baseball, softball, and volleyball as well. Gavin Velicevic is from Salle Collegiate. He's an aspiring broadcaster, and he is a member of the Sportscaster.com program. Here is Gavin's commentary on what we need to know and the biggest takeaways from the new reclassification.
For all the MHSAA football fans out there, there's a little shakeup this year coming in the divisions. 64 teams this year are going to be changing divisions based on enrollment. Usually 63 teams are assigned to each division in football, and this year we have a little bit of shakeup, with some of the most powerful schools in the state, actually. For example, Jackson Lumen Christi, even though they're originally supposed to be in D8, they've been moved up to D6 again after opting in again. The powerhouse that won the D2 state championship last year, Orchard Lake, is going to stay in Division 2. And Linden High School, who had the chance to stay in D4, is going to come back up to D3 again. And Oak Park, as the same as they did last year, from Division 3 to Division 2. Overall, it may be a media capturing event, but in reality, it's based on enrollment, how many students each school has, and where the competitiveness might be. For example, with Orchard Lake St. Mary's, they could opt into D3, but their school's large enough to stay into D2. For example, where I'm a student at, De La Salle, this year there was a lot of immediate attention around us kind of switching back to D3 where we had been in prior years. And I got a statement from our head coach last night. He was mentioning the fact that the Catholic League has always been primarily D3 and D2. At some points, it was beating up on each other in the regular season, and then it'd be uncompetitive in the playoffs. Or, for example, our enrollment, when we were during the COVID year, he said, we could go up to D2 because De La Salle had such a high enrollment. But now our numbers put us back more to D3 and a more realistic range. And I think people need to understand that it's not all about the competitiveness, the talent, the skill, or ability. It's not about winning football games. It's about putting you in a realistic situation where your enrollment meets the standards. And I think that's important for people to understand sort of over time. It's not all about getting the win on Friday nights. It's kind of being, where does our school fit best in this? And I think that's what we can take away from the 64 teams that change up this year. And for certain, there's going to be a different look. There might be a different look in the playoffs. Not all the teams might make it. That's just the reality. And that it's going to be a shakeup. It's going to be a change. But I think overall it's going to be positive. And this happens every year. And even though there's heavy media coverage this year, it happens every single year. Enrollment shifts. It's not all about winning on Friday nights. It's about putting the school in a realistic situation. And I think that's what most of these schools have done.
So one of the big takeaways there from Gavin, that was Sportscaster.com contributor Gavin Velicevic from De La Salle Collegiate. One of the takeaways there, the enrollment shifts, and then, the idea of putting schools in realistic situations to be ultimately successful. Obviously, a lot to chew on as we head into the 2025 season. And then obviously over the next 3 years, we'll see how everything plays out. And reclassification, once again, will be on the docket, I would assume. I do want to let everybody know that Sportscaster and WJR has partnered again for season 2 of Drive to the Game. That'll be every Friday night, so you can get your high school football fix right here on the WJR airwaves. Week 1 is coming up already, Thursday, August the 28th. Lake Orion versus Northville. That'll be at 7 o'clock. It is part of the Amazon Prep Kickoff Classic at Wayne State University. So season 2 of Drive to the Game. We're looking forward to it. High school football season, nothing like it. No better way to spend a Friday night. But if you're on the road and can't get out there, be sure to tune into WJR and we'll get you up to speed on everything you need to know week in, week out during the high school football season. When we come back, we're going to dive into the NBA. There's been a makeover in Los Angeles with an aging roster that's not getting any younger. Open Mic continues after this.